and Lamarck and other evolutionists did, and came up with the fact that most of those characters observed in offspring or we see within living organisms do not just appear like that. Observe or the differences and similarities observed between offsprings and their parents. So we saw those that were responsible. The main person who started it was Georg Mendel, and that was in 1806. Then in 1909, one of the Danish biologists, that is a journalist, who followed the research on what Mendel did, and found that back then that Mendel was talking about that it's responsible for transmission of characters that he called factor. So Jan is called his factor, which is technically known as genes. Then Thomas Morgan, who is an American genetics, in 1912, still moved on, make its own research, following what Mendel said, and the research on the findings of Jones, and finally found out and confirmed that even that factor that John is talking about, that responsible, which is called genes, was carried or found inside the chromosomes. And if you remember too well, even from junior school, it told us that the chromosomes are found inside the nucleus, and they are the main thing that contains the gene that is responsible for hereditary and variation. Then we saw those variations are characters of what effect, what can we say about it with environmental variations. And we make to understand that characters that are being transmitted or transferred from parents to offspring are being controlled by genes. Then the seventh of those ones are times observed in offsprings that might not be found or cannot be transmitted or found within the offspring or will be found in the parents. And that we call environmental variations. So we find out that those ones were acquired, something learned going on within the environment that they learned or acquired from the environment. And those characters acquired from the environment, so those differences cannot be transmitted, it cannot be controlled, except those ones that are carried by genes. So most environmental characters that comes in terms of when we talk about variation are just learned, acquired from the environment, and therefore cannot be transmitted to offspring. I think this is where we start. And we also saw characters that can be transmitted in human and in plants. I think that's where we start. And we mentioned a lot of such characters. And some of them we said, like for example, characters like that have to do with shape. You know, we have shape of ear, shape of eye, shape of head. If, for example, that Wyatt says we should list characters that can be transmitted from parent to offspring, and you write shape of head, shape of ear, shape of nose, we've only given one answer. Because the major thing we're looking at there is the shape. Then we looked at color, color of the head, color of the eye, color of the skin. Then we looked at the heights, we looked at weights. Then we also came across characters like bad hair, intelligence. Remind me all that we mentioned in terms of human or animal. What? Sickle cell, that's in terms of diseases. We also mentioned them. Broad group, we also mentioned color blindness, we also mentioned darkness, I've mentioned that, we also mentioned downgrade intelligence. This can as well be transmitted from parents to offspring. And we also saw characters in plants that can also be transmitted. And remember we said that most of these characters that are being transmitted from parents to offspring are controlled by gene. The ones that are not controlled by gene are the environmental characters or the environmental variations that are acquired from the environment. For example, if, like I mentioned that day, if I know how to ride a car or a bicycle, does it mean that my child, once I give birth to that child, with my husband, the child will know how to ride bicycle? It might not even know for life. I don't even understand what I'm saying. Because they're not controlled by gene. This is what you like. As soon as I started building my, those of you that go for weightlifting, you say they call it walking out, isn't it? And begin to develop the boy's chest, the girl's slim fit. And some of that does not mean that if I body, if the child comes out today, the chest will come out like this, the muscles will develop, those ones are acquired. But if you have to do with weights, your mommy is big. Daddy, not really too big. Your mommy is very fair. Both of them are fair. Who is fairer? Grandparents, both sides, they are fair. So I just want to use that in terms of body size, body weight, those ones are transmittable. Even if they born the begin today. There are some, I've seen a woman who was very, what I mean fat. Fat like this. And the head small. Then the child, even as she's growing, was there. And by the time she married, the other one's in school. She added a not really food. Something that is already there. Like this one will grow fat. Whether she likes it or not. The same thing she started working. The way you keep on walking or try to date with it, if you're not serious, you get yourself with awesome. Just that one apart. So we said that those ones acquired are not transmitted because they are not controlled by the gene. Did I say something now? So in terms of plants, we saw also heights, like the tallness, shortness, in terms of height. We saw the color of leaves, color of flower, color of fruit, color of the seeds, the shapes of the fruit, and so on. And we decorated a lot, and that's a given examples. The color of leaf, the resistance to environmental hazard of factors. So we're about treating how characters can be transmitted or be transmitted at the behavior.
And fingerprints. When you mention them, they're under responsibility situation.
Yes, you wanted to send me fingerprints to get.
A fingerprint controlled by genes.
No, fingerprint. Okay.
Are they controlled by genes or they form gradually as the baby grows?
Yes. And that is why I think as it were, not two individuals have the same fingerprints.
So it's not controlled by genes.
It is somehow. It's just like we said, blood group. And you know when a woman is pregnant, I don't know whether you repeated that. Most of the time, the fetus inside have a separate entity in terms of its blood. And that is why the mother might be carrying one disease and it will not affect the child. It can only get blocked during birth. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It can only affect the child if the mother is giving birth normally on its own. You know, when the water breaks, it's not so by the time you start doing this to understand what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the little knowledge I know. And then you know the umbilical cord, the cut off. You see some blood traces if it touches. Because I've seen a mother that had AIDS who was on drugs. But that was not affecting the child. You are monitoring it. And they decide not to allow the woman to give birth on her own. That should be pleased to say no. You don't get that. Because to save the child from having or contacting that. Then when you talk about that fingerprint, as it were, it is there. All of them are controlled by them, but as time goes on, it begins to differentiate. I don't know how God did that. And that is why there are only four types of fingerprints. I hope all of us know that. What are they? The arc, the wall, the double wall, and what? The loop. Now, all of us, either All of us here have different ones. You might know your own, I might know my own. But if we come to a situation where we need to print it, it is not the same. They might have that same shape, but it's different. And that is why when you go to the bank, for example, and you come across, you know there are people who are not learned that cannot sign. What do they use? They use a fingerprint. How many of you have BVN now? You have done BVN, you have? So none of you have account on your own? None of you has got 18 years? How many of you have an account? Good, but not in your, they open your name but linked with your parents' ones. Good. So by the time you get to 18, or probably you're entering school, and you want to separate the accounts, that is when you want to do your own BVN. This time around, you have to use your fingerprints. You did fingerprints. You have done completing right registration. You use only this one. This one. Is it the two? Only this one. Only the thumb. Wow. Maybe the way they work it now. Even if you go to bank, I know when we started this briefing, they use the 10 for jam. Well, it depends. I don't know, but I know if you go to bank recently, probably they say go and check your BVN. You want to do transaction with your account, you must go and also bring your BVN again to confirm. You use only this. But during the period you are opening, you want to open your big BVN, they will take the 5. Previously during WIEC, they will use this, and you go for the left as well. But now it's the only one that people say they're using. Isn't it? Maybe as time goes on, with the technology and development, a lot of things, at least it will differentiate one another, because not two individuals are the same, not even identical twins. Not even identical twins. So in that case, like you said, gradually it come out differently. As it were. So let's look at how does these characters get transmitted and behave from generation to generation. We have been told that only characters controlled by the gene are being transmitted from parents to offspring, or are being inherited by the gene. Now when we talk about a diploid organism, have a set of chromosomes, and that set of chromosomes we call homologous chromosomes. We remember that. And when it comes to heat transmission, a set of homologous, and where you have two individuals trying to come about in transmission, except when you have a haploid, where those organisms are happening one cell. But in a situation whereby two have to come together by meiosis and as well as fertilization, each of them have a set of chromosomes, which is called homologous chromosomes. It is, okay, one I said, two of us will talk, isn't it? You have a pair of chromosomes, I have a pair of chromosomes, which is 2. Now, in terms of transmission, we will come meeting with each other for fertilization to take place by the process of a cell division known as what? Meiosis. And in that case, I have 2, and the offspring that we have, she has to release half. I have to release half, that is haploid. When half of mine and half of his fuse and come together, they form diploid. And I say something now. So that the individual coming, the offspring coming, will have a complete set of chromosomes. I know another question would have been, how would the other one complete it? You know, after fertilization has taken place and development of after fertilization by meiosis, then the development forming a zygote, the development of those zygotes. Remember, there are 3 distinct processes that are involved in terms of mitosis. Who will remember? In terms of growth, 3 distinct processes that are involved in growth. Good. So you started with cell division, cell differentiation, and cell maturation. A plant will have cell elongation. You know, within that period, it is a mitotic division that has now been taking place when an organism in terms of human forming a zygote, it's just like a ball. And and that ball it forms what we call the cleavage stage. Then mitotic division continues. It could be 2, 3, 4. That's it continues, the process continues until different parts of the organism begin to come for that is cell differentiation. Am I saying something now? Bringing out different parts so that they're able to carry out their specific function. And when those different parts start coming forth, the next thing is cell maturation. They will now be mature. Still, mitotic or somatic cell is going on so that they're able to carry out their specific function. Every part of the body needs to go until they mature enough. Did I say something wrong? So within that period, we have, I know you have a pair, and the total number for human and animal is how many? 23 pairs, isn't it? He has 23 pairs, I have 23 pairs. I'm making how many number? 46. So when I am releasing, I'll be releasing 23. He will be releasing 23. When the 23 comes together, it will form 26 by fertilization, 46, and by the meiosis, that is the crossing. That is when we have bio, that is here, exactly, and that will have a complete upright, that is 23 pair of chromosomes. Then by the mitotic division or cell division, there will be a replacement of the one we need, so that tomorrow we can still produce a lot of kilometers. No, we need the one. We can still produce, we need the one and we have a game. We now need the one. Now the same thing goes with all living organisms, even with plants. Am I saying something now? Even with plants, except unicellular organisms that have diploid, haploid, but multicellular organisms that require those two organisms coming together for fertilization to take place have diploid chromosomes, but have to be released so as to bring about fertilization by cell division, which is meiosis. But somatic cell, in terms of cell division, it is what? Mitosis. Exactly. Exactly. So let's write down a little bit. When we explain as we continue, we'll understand it. Only characters controlled by genes can be transmitted. Only characters controlled by genes can be transmitted. In other words, inherited. Only characters controlled by genes can be transmitted. In other words, inherited. That is in other words, inherited characters are determined by genes. Inherited characters are determined by genes. It is still saying something that only characters that are transmitted, that are controlled by genes can be transmitted. That's full stop. A diploid organism, I should spell diploid. A diploid organism have two sets of chromosomes referred to a homologous chromosomes. A diploid organism have two sets of chromosomes referred to homologous. Homologous chromosomes. Please, if you see me write something like this, I'm referring to chromosomes. But don't just follow me and do that in case of exam. That is short form to make my writing faster. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay. First up, such an organism has two copies. Such an organism has two copies of each gene. Such an organism have two copies of each genes. Apostrophe with the copies occupying identical location. With the copies occupying identical location. I said, present the genes. I want something like this. Apostrophe with the copies occupying identical locations, or what to call loculus, loculi. Loculi in plural, loculus is singular. Identical location or loculi on a homologous chromosome. Do you remember when we did mitosis, meiosis? In their different stages. I think the first stage, where we have them identified and shown. What stage is this? Are you sure? Are you sure? Then what stage is this? What stage is this? Prophets. Because they have appeared in pairs. And this stage is what? Interface, when they are intertwined, like a thread. At the resting stage, you are not doing it, nothing is happening. And the next stage after that is what? Huh? After this stage is what phase? Metaphase. After metaphase is what? And when you see, because most of the time it appears in objectives or text of practice. And after anaphase is what? What's so specific about that anaphase? Not that they are children, not that we were talking about the characters again, and you need to show forth. These are the stages they undergo after native, now to develop flow, developing to form different parts within the body system. Alright, let's go. What was the last sentence? On the chromosome, on the homologous chromosomes. To stop. Paragraph. Diploid organisms produces gametes. Diploid organisms produces gametes by meiosis in their reproductive organs. Diploid organisms produces gametes by meiosis in their what? In their what? Sperm or spermatozoa produced by the testes. What are the female gametes? The what? The what? The eggs. Or what? Ovum in singular, ova in plural. So these are, so we said that in diploid organisms, even in plants, you know the plants have their own gametes. What's the male gamete in plants? Okay. The pollen grain contained in the, huh? God bless you. What is the name of the female gamete? Ovum. Contained in the what? Contained in the ovum. So please take note of this. And which part of the What part of the plant do we have these gametes? Okay, so the flower. You might be asked, and has been asked several times, if not objective, to name the reproductive organ in the flowering plant. The main reproductive organ in the flowering plant is the flower. And the flower, is it a hermaphrodite? It can be and do not. And imperfect form. That's correct. But majority of them are hermaphrodites. Majority of them are. Where do we have the imperfects? Example. Where would you have the flowers that are not hermaphrodites? God bless you. Please take note of all these things. Take note of all these things. They appear so much in exams, especially in JAM too, because they know so a lot of students might be confused, or the teacher might not mention that. Okay, I said diploid organism produces gametes by meiosis in their reproductive organs. Full stop. A male individual produces sperm. A male individual produces sperm as their gametes, while the female produces egg cell or ova. Ova in plural or ovum in singular. Ova in plural or ovum in singular. And so while the female produces egg cell or ovum as their gametes. Full stop. Now we're entering into the main business now to know how these characters are being transmitted or behave. Paragraph. During meiosis, I want to believe you still remember the definition of meiosis. I want to believe you still remember the definition of meiosis. I'm not asking you now, but I want to believe you still remember the definition of meiosis. Please go back and I ask you on Saturday. These are the things for now. You know you have done it for long. Little. You might get them forgot, you might forget them. So during meiosis, the number of chromosomes in a cell is halved. The number of chromosomes in a cell is halved. The number of chromosomes in cells is halved. Full stop. The gametes are therefore haploid, containing one set of chromosomes. Containing one set of chromosomes. Containing one set of chromosomes. My explanation now, I want to kind of illustrate it. Don't draw yet, okay? I'll tell you when you do, when you have to. Now this is what we're trying to explain. Let's go. Now this is where we have a complete one on both during meiosis. This stands for crossing, that is coming to meet the male and the female coming together to bring about fertilization. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So at this particular stage here, they are together. So during meiosis, they release half. And when they release half, that has to do also with plants. When we release half, this has to do with the sperm, and half of it is we use N as haploid to represent each. So when that is the half now, half of this, half of this. Now when fertilization after mating has taken place, now you now have fertilization as a whole, you now have a zygote formed that will have a complete diploid number of chromosomes. But this is half number of chromosomes. By mitotic division, this one will turn back to complete full number of chromosomes. Is that clear? Showing that is how major ways that these characters and behavior is being transmitted. I don't know most of your parents, but I know few. This one looks like a papa. This one looks like a papa. But am I looking, you look like a mother? Or your dad? Or both? Both. So if you're going with your dad, say, with your dad, you won't go. Alright? You won't go. The two. That's when you come, your grandparents. I love your income. Your dad. Your dad was very handsome. You go. Your dad. He was you go. Your dad. What did you get from your mom? That they say, when you talk, you know the mom?
My voice.
Her voice. Wow. You come, your dad. You come, your dad. Who? Are we coming? Paul. You come. But these are our children, they don't look like us. These are our children, don't look like us. Okay, she's not. Who is saying this too? But are we communicating? Yes. Are you sure you're following?
Yes.
Show ye?
Yes.
What if I ask you what is fertilization? Let me just, you see, these are the things you have done. Go back. Because it's coming back now. Remember we said that one of the major things that control genetics have to do with sexual reproduction. Can you remember? And the last one. And sexual reproduction involves the union of gametes that brings about a process known as what? Fertilization, in order to produce a zygote, which develop to form an embryo. I might say something now. Which develop to form an embryo. This is what we did. You came across it in SS2. You came across it in SS. This is your SS3, where you start talking about the production, isn't it? Isn't it? Production. During sexual reproduction, the gametes of a male and a female individual, the gametes of a male and female individual or parents fuse. I repeat myself. During sexual reproduction, the gametes of a male and female individual or parents fuse to form zygote. Zygote is diploid as it gets one set of chromosomes. Each zygote is diploid as it gets one set of chromosomes. And hence one copy of each gene from the gametes of each parent. I repeat myself. I said each zygote is diploid as it gets one set of chromosomes and hence one copy, COPY, of each gene from the gametes of each parent. From the gametes of each parent. That is all those English you are speaking. Is this thing I was trying to show for you? I hope you understand it now. I hope you understand it now. I should still go back to Paul. Myself and Paul. This is Paul. Apostle Paul. This is Paul. This is me. You know it's during meiosis. And you then haploid. And me then haploid. You release half. You know what to release become half. And this is the half. And this is the half. Now when this half will release come together by fertilization here. The release of the half was done with the help of this process, which is meiosis. Remember before we released, we'll have 2. 2. We'll now release 1 here. And that is what is here. So when we now come together, we now produce by fertilization, a process known as fertilization, we now produce a zygote, which is a thyme. And then that one will become diploid, having 2 sets of chromosomes and as well as a copy of the gene to produce this. And that one will now go through series of mitotic division and become an embryo. From an embryo to fetus. From fetus, that one came out to become a pure human. The same thing goes, although plants do not call their own fetus. Are you getting what I'm saying? But they still they'll still grow to embryo until they develop to come forth as a full individual. And remember this, have to fuse together by a process known as fertilization. I left 2 examples, I left 2 assignments. I hope you still remember the definition of meiosis and the definition of fertilization. And you know we have different types of fertilization, internal and external. And we have those ones that are also connected with it, that we mentioned oviparous, ovoviviparous. I hope we still know them. All right. That is that about that. Let's continue. Paragraph. Characters determined by the genes are thus characters determined by the genes are thus transmitted from parents to offspring through gametes. I repeat myself. Characters determined by genes are thus transmitted from parents to offspring through gametes. Full stop. The gene of an organism inherited during fertilization. The gene of an organism inherited during fertilization is called genotype. The gene of organism inherited during fertilization is called genotype. And this remains constant throughout a lifespan. This remains constant throughout a lifespan. Full stop. The phenotype, which is the physical appearance. We also have phenotype, is the physical appearance. And that appears as a physical appearance, what we see on the individual. Is that clear? Any questions so far? You understand this? And these are the major ways how, or the main ways how characters are being transmitted from generation to generation and also shows in their behavior. And when we talk about this, it still has to do with, in terms of behavioral characters, it has to do with morphological variations and physiological variations. Is that clear? Is that clear? Well, those who cannot see what's being exhibited in terms of physiological behavior. Now let's look at, there are some terms, as we are talking about genetics, there are specific terms that we're using often. We have to come across them often and often so long as the topic genetics is concerned. And we know genetics is a wide topic. There's a lot we need to, because now, as we are talking, we have to bring in some part of evolution that we did when we start the main cruising, the mixing up from parents to offspring. So let's look at some important genetic terms. As a side topic, some important genetic terms. At least there are some of them who have been mentioning so much here. We have been talking about some. There are some who can continue without coming across them. The first one is the gene. The gene. All of us know what gene is. Gene is any segment or hereditary unit. Gene is any segment or hereditary unit of the DNA. Any segment or hereditary unit of the DNA. Let somebody remind us the full meaning of DNA. There also ribonucleic acid. Huh? What did you say? What do you hear? There also ribonucleic acid. What of RNA? Okay. Ribonucleic acid. You said that DNA is any segment or hereditary unit of DNA which by itself or in association with other genes, which by itself or with association with other genes expresses a trait. Give me another word for trait. Character. Good. Expresses a trait or character in an organism. Expresses a trait or character in an organism. Full stop. Where are they located? Huh? Thank you. They are located in the chromosomes and are responsible. Genes are located in the chromosomes and are responsible. I repeat myself. As a gene is any segment of hereditary units of DNA which by itself or in association with other genes expressing traits or characters with organisms. First off, they are located within the chromosomes and are responsible for the transmission of characters from parents to offspring. Another genetic term is chromosomes. We are not coming across this word for the first time, are we? We come across it when? For the first time. When? For the first time, when? We come across this word for the first time. Cell and its component. Before then, we came across it for the first time. It's Genesis. You've not forgotten. It's everything we've forgotten. Everything is a continuous, that's one thing with biology. The only thing that is not actually continuous, there are two major topics that are not actually fully continuous in genetics, that once you treat it in biology, is photosynthesis. Another one is irritability. It's only that's essential. Another one is growth, but there are words that make up the growth that we're coming across now, and that is meiosis and mitosis, like we said then. And also, it is during that growth, you came across this word again, and you drew the diagram. Did you draw the diagram? How many of you have seen the diagram of chromosomes in a WAEC past question paper? And you're asked to label fully, like this. And you're asked to label in a past question. So all of you have been going through your past, you have. Can you remember the year? Huh? Wow. Oh my God. It was in the test of practical, November, December. And the same year they drew the diagrams of clavidominans and volvulus. And even in that diagram, especially when you go to meiosis, you label this. What is this? What is this? What's this? God bless you. Are you looking at this photo? No. Central. What's this? Sister chromatin. The labeling is not just, it's not much. That's the two major things there. That's the two major things. And when they say identify it, it's a chromosomes. It's a copy. I hope you know it is not homologous. Homologous is two. I hope you remember. I hope you remember. Good. So let's go. This is a dark staining structure. Dark staining structure found in the nucleus of a cell. Found in the nucleus of a cell in which the genes of an organisms are arranged. In which the genes of an organisms are arranged. You can draw the diagram if you wish. Another term is character. Or what we call traits. Character. Or what we call traits. These are the inheritable attributes. These are the inheritable attributes. These are the inheritable attributes or features. Inheritable attributes or features possessed by an organism. These are inheritable attributes or features possessed by an organism. Example, seed color. Seed color, we said the color of the seed. Seed color. Skin color. Seed size. Seed size. Or the size of a seed or plant. Height. Height of plant or animal, etc. Another word is gametes. Gametes. Give me another name for this gamete that you have come across. Another name for gametes. There. Sex cell, God bless you. Another one. Germ cell. G-E-R-M. Germ cell. If you don't call it sex cell, you call it gametes. If you don't call it gametes, you call it germ cell. G-E-R-M. Okay? This is a mature sex cell. This is a mature sex cell, a matured sex cell, which takes part in sexual reproduction. Which take part in sexual reproduction. Full stop. There are two sets. There are two types. There are two types, the male and the female gametes. I repeat myself. This is a matured sex cell which takes part in sexual reproduction. Full stop. They are of two types. Male and female gametes. Another word is allelophile. 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 What? A-L-L-E-L-E-M-O. Thank you. M-O-R-P-H. Allelophiles. These are pairs of genes. These are pairs of genes on the location of chromosomes. These are pairs of genes on the location of chromosomes. That is, in brackets, loculus. What's the plural word for loculus? Loculi. And you know it's the same word as location. On the location of chromosomes. In brackets, loculus, that controls contracting characters. That control contracting characters. That controls contracting characters. First off, a pair of anemophils are called allelic pairs. And each one may be called allele. Not allele. I know so much. Who said allele? I repeat myself. A pair of anemophils are called allelic pairs, which each member of the pair is known as allele of the other. Allele of the other. A pair is called allelic pairs, which each member is called allele. Example of this is for height. For example, height, we use T. For tall, when we talk about e.g. height, so we use T for tall, and we might use small t for short. So these ones are representing the genes. And remember, the genes or the chromosomes, they appear in pairs. So we must have this, a pair of. So this is allele. Allelic pair. So like height, we use T to represent. Capital T for tall, small t for short. Did I say something now? We can take another one like example. Capital B for black, small b for white. There must be in a corresponding or contracting form. Is that clear? Is that clear? Have you written the examples? Now let's come across another word, the phenotype. The phenotype. Some of us have come across this word before. Under what? Variation. Under which topic? Genetics. In GS3. Okay, you started genetics in school. Under variation and your GS3, except if we are not taught to well. You should have GS3 genetics, yes, you didn't do it. Don't say no, man. You did genetics. It's not even the last topic for GS3. It's basic science. Most of these words, you should have met it in GS3, even gametes. The only word you might not actually need very well is alemophil. But alemophil was also mentioned as allele, but we didn't come with alemophil. In your basic science, do you still have your basic science note?
Yes.
You don't go. If I tell you that my notes, my biology, chemistry, physics, CRS, commerce, they are still there in my house. From class 3, the one you call SS1 to class 5. And my integrated science notes. Because I said they don't integrate merge a lot of things. I still have to listen to that. So you don't throw things so that you show your child. If your dad are lying, I came first that time. I came first. I went there and said, that here, I saw your result. Oh. Alright, let's continue. Phenotype, like I said, you would have come across this word phenotype in your basic science. This refers to the physical appearance. We came across this in variation. This refers to physical appearance of an individual. It refers to physical appearance of an individual. First stop. It also includes the physiological and behavioral characteristics. it also includes the physiological and behavioral behavioral characters. I said this refers to the physical appearance of an individual. First of all, it also includes the physiological and behavioral characters. Example, height, weight, skin color, etc. Height, weight, skin color, etc. The next one is genotype. Genotype. Do you remember the definition of genotype? What is it? What? Huh? Okay, some total of genetic makeup of an individual or inherited from parents to offspring. So this is some total of all the genes that individual inherits from his parents. Genotypes include both dominant and recessive characters that forms the genetic makeup of an individual. Forms the genetic makeup of an individual. That forms the genetic makeup of an individual. Okay, let's look at dominant genes. Dominant gene, dominant characters. Then go still the same thing. Dominant gene, dominant characters. These are genes which controls dominant characters. These are genes that controls dominant characters. These are genes that controls dominant characters. For instance, in a very tall plant, there may be the gene for shortness. For instance, in a very tall plant, there may be the gene for shortness. There may be the gene for shortness. But the gene has no influence on the gene for tallness. The gene has no influence on the gene for tallness. So when we say these are genes that control dominant characters, for instance, that is, if we have used poultry that we see of the tree producing short tree again is 100% because there might be that of shortness there. Am I saying something now? Now, if let me use example here too. I'm trying to use somebody I know very well, that some of you might know, so you understand. Taiwo, sorry, I'm just using you. You say your two grandparents are fair, but who among the mom and dad is that? Mom and dad is that? Both of them. Wow. Your daddy's parents, the two of them are fair. Your daddy's parents, two of them are fair. Your grandpa of your mother's side is fair. Okay. And your grandma is fair. but not as fair as you are. Age might be reducing the fairness. What are your daddy's side, your father's side? Good. So now brings your two parents. Your two parents are not fair. Your two parents, the Taiwo, mommy and daddy is not fair. But the two grandmothers are fair. And the two grandfathers are dark. Is all of you, the siblings, are fair? As dark as her. Now, you see, two of them are dark. Now, which means dominant gene that was noticed from the father of the parents from both sides showed. If you know your grandparents, maybe none of them too are fair. But when they start giving birth, fortunately, the two that married themselves are the ones that have the dominant dark color in them. They are offspring now, second generation. This one is after the gene dominant character. We will be getting to the world, filial generations, and begin to show forth. So that which was not seen in them has been fair, begin to show forth. If, for example, the parents, people does not know the parents, and they saw the two parents being that, and they gave birth to Oyibo, and standing Oyibo. When this girl was a baby and she came out, she was pink. I'm sure they told you that. Oh, she was pink. That shows it. This one was a little bit pink too. It might still come out very fair because I know the one. But the mother is dark. But the father is just like this. So we said strong genes. Now, that one that was the recessive character of gene was inside the two parents, and they showed forth in the next one. Now, which means the two parents were carriers. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the fairness was inside, dormant or dominant and recessive. While the dark color, that's the physical appearance, was dominant. That is what the character showed that is dominating every other thing. But that came from your fathers, your grandparents, and the next one. And the tendency of you when you give birth, depending on who you marry, even with you can still give birth to dark or fair, and none might be as fair as you. Am I saying something wrong? Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is what we're talking about. Dominant genes. I thought it was that person. And the one I was seeing, I was thinking he's the one. He's a pastor. So when I see this, I will always greet him as pastor. He will answer. He just recently, he said people are disturbing him and they'll go and report that one to their general pastor. I said when they greet Pastor Amusha, he doesn't answer. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the person I'm greeting is the elder brother who is not the pastor. So now when I said that this is not pastor, I said no, he is the one. He now told me that is his younger brother, that's the problem, and they'll go and be telling the other pastors that the man is pompous. Are you getting my story now? So which means I said, does it mean that who among you, do you look like your father or your mother? If the two of you said there are 7 boys, no girls, and all of them look alike like this as he is. Then I said, who do you look like, your father or your mom? He said like both. I said then your father's gene is very strong. They all have, anywhere you see them, you know that this person is related to this person. And they are from the same parents, the same complexion. So why am I not going? So I don't know their children, but I know the two of them. When he said this, okay, if I announce you this one, I know this one is GLC pastor. this one will be pastor and senior officer in Ministry of Education. And at least I'm able to differentiate when I see him around. Are you getting what I'm saying? So this is, so the other one, the color, it can be tallness, might be recessive. She is not tall. Then the father is tall, the mother is short. And if you marry somebody of the same height, like how can you inherit from the father? You might marry somebody like Brother Paul, who is tall. Are you getting me? Your daddy, so you have one that is taller than you. So things like that. Knowing that Paul is everybody tall, your daddy and mom. I might be tall, no, and this one, no. If you give birth to somebody that's shorter than you, so we're just looking at recessive and dominant. Am I dominating?
Yes.
Are you sure? Yes. Are you hungry? Are you following me? Okay. And what of you? You will not be too hungry because I saw you eating biscuits. Alright, let's go to dominant character. A trait is said to be dominant when it is expressed. A trait is said to be dominant when it is expressed. I should spell expressed. E-X-P-R-E-S-S-E-D. When it is expressed in the presence of another character that is suppressed. In the presence of another character that is suppressed. First up, another word is recessive character. Recessive character. Recessive character. A character is said to be recessive when it is not expressed. When it is not expressed. A character is said to be recessive when it is not expressed in the presence of another contracting character. When it is not expressed in the presence of another contracting character. Homozygotes. An individual is said to be homozygotes. An individual is said to be homozygotes if it has two similar genes for the same character. This is homozygotes if it has the same similar genes for the same characters. Tallness. Small t stands for what? So we might say homozygous tallness, homozygous shortness, or homozygous short. I hope you understand what I'm saying. These are the times you hear. Nobody will just, you won't see those on homozygous tallness. It is left for you now, while answering the question, to deduce the letters that will stand for the gene, that is your allele, the letters you will use representing the genes in the chromosomes. Am I saying something now? Similar alleles or genes in a chromosome. Okay, let's go to heterozygotes. Another thing. The word heterozygotes. A diploid individual is said to be heterozygotes if two members of a pair of genes controlling a pair of contracting characters if two members of a pair of genes controlling a pair of controlling characters are different. Example, two individuals controlling different, a pair of characters. So this is heterozygotes, black rats, heterozygotes, tall tree, heterozygotes, white cats, heterozygotes, purple cats, and so on and so forth. So long as they are not too, you might even have, what's this? Oh my God. What does this thing stand for?
Carrier.
Hemoglobin. You know the two. This is said to be carrier, isn't it? So homozygotes, hemoglobin carriers, anemia, carrier of anemia. We present with this heterozygotes. I will not tell you carrier, but the word heterozygotes of an anemic individual. We still have other terms like hybridization, hybrid, monohybrid, dihybrid, cross, haploid, diploid, test cross, and so on, because mutation will have come across mutation, test crossing, and so on. So after which we look at Mendel work on genetics. How did Mendel carry out this to confirm all that he had been saying? And what did Mendel use in his experiment? He used what we call garden peas. Why did he use that garden pea? Is that clear? Any questions so far? See you tomorrow. Thank you.